Linda, the Immortal Alcoholic's wife, and I'm here for our Sunday chat. I wanted to go over a few things with you today about surviving after your alcoholic has departed this earth. And some of you, I'm sure, think that it's not going to happen soon enough. But there's an interesting thing that I've discovered that has happened with me, and I thought I would share it with you. uh, I spent so much of the last 10 years or so being at the house. I would leave for grocery shopping and things like that, but for the most part, I was at home and taking care of him. When he died, I suddenly had all this freedom that I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do with. I could leave whenever I wanted to, and I didn't have to be back until I wanted to. And that all sounds well and good, but when you become accustomed to doing things a certain way, it's kind of hard to get out of that rut and move into a different realm. I discovered that I have a friend that I was on Messenger with, I mean, all the time. And this poor person would be sending me simple questions or statements, and I would be responding with novel length responses, which made it difficult for him to comprehend. Uh, if you've used Messenger a lot, you know that um, it's like talking to somebody. Well, when you haven't had a lot of social interaction for a long time, you start in your mind talking to this person like you're having a conversation. And the next thing you know, you've just become this motor mouth person, and it's hard for everybody. So trying to get out of that has been very difficult. I want to apologize to my friend for doing that. So when you get to the point where you suddenly find yourself with all this freedom, you have to figure out what it is you're going to do with the freedom. And I would say that if you haven't had a lot of friends stick by you, then it's time to start making some new friends. And uh, to do that, you can use all kinds of avenues. There's um, all kinds of social functions that you can find online nowadays. I found a group out of a nearby town, which is just single people who just want to have something to do. And I'm going out to dinner with them on Wednesday night. Uh, it's not a hookup, it's not online dating or anything like that. It's just some people of like minds who are getting together to enjoy an evening together. So I'm hoping that that's going to curtail my uh, my desire to go overboard in my conversations with the people that I write to on Messenger, especially my one friend. He'll be very happy to hear that I'm going to cut back. Um, some other things that you can do is to join all kinds of groups, figure out what your interests are, and once you know that, then you can go forward and decide what you want to do. You can volunteer, and now that you've spent that time caretaking an alcoholic, you can now caretake other people, whether they're alcoholics or not. I mean, sometimes you can volunteer simply to read books to people who are no longer able to read them for themselves and who are shut in, and that's a cool thing to do. It's something I've been thinking about. You could go back to work. I mean, heaven forbid that you should stop being gainfully employed. Although, as you get older, even though we have all these discrimination laws, you know that the older you get, the less likely the jobs are going to fall on your lap. But it doesn't have to be anything high paying. So, go to work at Walmart, be a greeter. You're going to meet people that way. You may not make lifelong um, friendships and relationships, but at least you will be out in the world and not sequestered in your house. Um, there's things you can do at home that's going to give you more exposure, but I don't recommend that. I recommend actually getting out and being in the world. Uh, I think that's one of the big my big issues about working from home is that I've worked from home and I know what it's like to work from home, and there's nothing wrong with it. I happen to enjoy it, but I think I need people around me. When Riley was alive, we had hospice. So I constantly had people in and out, but it wasn't the kind of relationships where we would sit and discuss fabric patterns for draperies or anything like that. It was strictly all about Riley and what's he doing and is he going or is he staying or what's happening. So now it's time for me to move on and find other avenues for my interests. Um, that's about all I have to say about that. It's still going back to having your own life. And when you don't have one for so long, it's kind of hard to decide what your real life is going to be or what you want it to be. So it takes a little bit of work to figure it out. There's forms in the Survivors, Surviving the Chaos book that helps you to go in the direction and figure out what it is you want to do. Um, there's this have your own life thing isn't just for the people who are involved with alcoholics. Having your own life is something that everybody has to do. And it may sound kind of trite, but it is a fact. And you have to sometimes, when you're coming out of this kind of a situation, you have to force it because a lot of times it's just not going to come naturally. And that's okay because you don't really, it doesn't really need to come naturally because you can push it to come for you. Um, I, uh, I want to, there's a lot of things I want to do. I want to continue with the seminars and get those up and running and going. And I want to finish the books I'm writing, but finishing the books means I'm staying home. So I need to do the things that finish the goals, reach the goals that I have, but create some new ones. And those new ones have to include getting out at least once a week and doing something that isn't an errand. Going out to run errands is not the same thing as going out and meeting with people and having lunch or going to a movie or something like that. The the running errands is a necessary evil and doesn't generate a lot of back and forth communication with other people. However, if you listen to my daughter, she'll tell you that I can go into a store for one item, come out with one item, but it'll take me 3 hours to get that item because I'm talking to everybody in the store. So, so my motor mouth extends far beyond Messenger, and I don't really apologize for that. I'm just one of those friendly people. I can walk in and talk to anybody almost any time. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I am still working on the seminar. We haven't quite gotten it perfected enough for me to produce it and get it out there to everybody. Um, I have made a decision about whether or not I'm going to try to open the respite house. And I know that a lot of you are going to be disappointed, but I have decided against opening the respite house for me. Excuse me. I would encourage anyone who is interested in doing it to go forward and open up that house because I really truly believe it will be beneficial. I am not the personality type who will be good anchored to this house to make it be productive and profitable. And it needs to be left to someone, dare I say it, a little bit younger and who has a little more energy and who has roots to whatever area the house will be. And I really do believe that Florida is the right place for that house. Um, but it can't be me. I'm willing to help anybody who wants to do it, but I cannot do the opening of the respite house on my own. Um, I feel that my personality is best suited for me to do the traveling book show, the traveling seminars, and get those going. Um, Other than that, that's about all I have to say today. I'm kind of losing my voice, so I'm going to end this now. But thanks for watching, and please watch again. And have a great day. Bye.